Hello everyone and welcome back to TowerGate. It is TowerGate day number 1029, Thursday, January the 30th, 2020. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, so let's cover the news of the day. There's really no major Spygate news. Still a lot of political news. Obviously, we're in an election cycle and we have an impeachment thing going on, so that's mostly what we'll be talking about today. So if you're a Spygate person and that's the type of things you want, there's really not much going on with that today. Not very much going on with that really at all in the last weeks. I mean, we get little bitty drips and drabs because John Durham doesn't leak. We're used to the Mueller experience where it's every day these coordinated strategic leaks. Not from Durham. He keeps a tight lid on everything. But I'm sure that in the not too distant future we'll have a lot to talk about regarding Spygate. But check in with me every day because I look at that every day. In the meantime, let's talk about the impeachment. So things have shifted again, and now it appears that they do have the votes to block witnesses, and looks very likely that once they block these witnesses, if that turns out to be true, they'll have the votes for acquittal, and this thing will be over, and it should be. Not that I wouldn't like to see the show, but chances are, when you think about the show, you think about, yeah, let's get Hunter Biden up here. Well, Hunter Biden's going to have a lawyer, and the lawyer's going to say, plead the fifth. So, you're not going to get anything out of Biden anyway. He's probably going to sit there and plead the fifth on every question. Now, that's a two-edged sword, because people know that you plead the fifth because you don't want to say something that might incriminate you. So, when you plead the fifth, you essentially are, in a way, a lot of people see someone plead the fifth. Okay, well, that person must be guilty. That's what most people think. And in most cases, that's the truth. Because you think, man, if I'm innocent, I want to talk. I want to clear my name. Well, Hunter or Joe Biden, either one, called up to testify, will definitely be advised by their attorneys not to talk. So I don't know that we would get the circus anyway, even though I'd like to see it. So I'll settle for no witnesses and acquittal, get it over and done with, but I would certainly like to see an investigation into the Bidens and Ukraine. Again, calling these people in to Congress, Congress can't force them to talk. They're going to plead the fifth. There needs to be an actual investigation into the Bidens, not just Hunter, but the whole crew of Bidens. I understand there's like 5 of them, sisters, brothers, the whole 9 yards, and get to the bottom of it. We'll see if that happens. Now, the thing that appears to be having the most effect is we have the 3 rhinos who are apparently, especially Romney, hearing from their constituents. And there was a poll out that we talked about a week or so ago where Romney has dropped below 50% in support. Then we have this poll that comes out yesterday showing that 67% do not want Romney to vote for impeachment witnesses, and they want him to acquit. Only 23% want witnesses or for Trump to be impeached. So you can see the numbers are really, really against Romney, and so you can expect that he is going to do the politically smart thing, which is, while he may want to draw some attention to himself for a couple of days, when it comes down to the rubber meeting the road, he's going to look at those poll numbers and realize that he better not stab Trump in the back, or his constituents will likely make him pay. We also have these 3 Democrat senators who are in these fairly red or slightly red-leaning, purple, slightly red-leaning districts. We have Joe Manchin, who's in a very, very, very red district, as a senator of the state. Very, very red. West Virginia. Trump won West Virginia by a huge number. We have this Manchin Sinema, who I believe she's from Arizona, I think. Of course, that's kind of a leaning Republican. Can go either way, but obviously she's hearing from a lot of Republicans in Arizona. And she has actually signed on. Sinema, when she first got elected, I didn't like her, and I still don't really like her. But, on some votes that she's taken, she has proven that she is not, she's kind of a maverick. She will vote against her party. She doesn't necessarily fall in line and do what Chucky tells her to do. She has voted her conscience on 3 or 4 bills that were things that benefit Trump, and she took some heat for it. She doesn't seem to care. So that's the other person. So we have Manchin Sinema and, of course, Doug Jones down there in Alabama fighting for his political life. I don't see how Doug Jones wins in this deal. It's pretty 50-50, I guess. He desperately probably wants to hit Trump, but he's facing a tough re-election. You got a couple reasonably strong candidates running against him. It's going to be pretty difficult for Doug Jones. And I don't know how he wins on this. If he goes against the Democrats, they'll pull support for him. If he, if he goes with the Democrats, Republicans in the state with a couple reasonably popular challengers will probably help defeat him. So I don't know that Doug Jones has really got a very good position here. But if I had to take a guess, I would guess that Doug Jones will side with whichever way it's leaning. I think he's not going to be the decider. He's going to be this guy that sits back and waits to see what the other 2 or 3 Democrats, Manchin, Sinema, wait to see what Romney does, what Murkowski does. I think he'll wait and see what they do. And I think that's the direction he'll go in. But it's looking more and more like there are not going to be any witnesses, and they're probably going to put the kibosh to this thing very soon, and I think that that's good. I would like to see the show, but probably wouldn't happen anyway. Might as well get it over with. Either way, it's a massive, massive fail for the Democrats. Trump's raised a tremendous amount of money. His approval rating is the highest it's ever been. He had a rally last night in New Jersey that was absolutely off the charts. We're talking now. It's a fairly Republican area where he was, but people were coming to that rally from a long way. Other states, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Washington, they were coming from everywhere. Virginia, and according to the numbers, according to Brad Parscale, about half of the people that attended that rally identify as Democrat or Independent. Trump is winning a lot of independents and even Democrats in states that are solid blue. Man, if they run, I'm telling you, if Bernie Sanders is the nominee, Trump's going to win 42, 43, maybe 44 states. And New Jersey would be a likely pickup. Even Democrats and independents who despise Trump are not going to vote for a commie. It's not going to happen. They'll either stay home. They probably won't vote for Trump, but they'll stay home. And that's good, because if they stay home, not only are they not voting for the Democrat, they're not voting for Congress, which means we have a chance to pick up a lot of seats in the House. Bernie, as I said before, he doesn't scare the Democrats because he's going to get his ass kicked, because any Democrat in the field right now is going to get their ass kicked. But at least they think of Biden or someone like that. Well, at least ways to get people to come out and vote for him. Democrats will vote for him. And, of course, then they're going to be voting for Congress. So what they're worried about is the down ballot. Congressional seats. That's what they're worried about. They know they're going to lose the White House. It's the congressional seats that's what's on their mind. And the Republicans know it, as does the Trump campaign. And Republicans. Well, we have the bug-eyed fool. Schiff lying again about not knowing the identity of the whistleblower. Everybody knows the identity of the whistleblower. So he's lying again, which is, he's a pathological liar. So, that's what we should expect. We also had something pretty humorous happen, too, yesterday. Lev Parnas strolls into the hearings and attempts to go in to watch the hearings, and they, turn him away. Because you're not allowed to go into congressional hearings or Senate hearings or what have you when you're wearing an ankle bracelet. So he got turned away. Must have been quite embarrassing. And that was a little Democrat plot that they thought they'd pull. That didn't work out either. Everything the Democrats do blows up in their face. It's like watching the Roadrunner and the Coyote over and over and over and over again. Trump is the Roadrunner, the Democrats are the Coyote, and you know how that goes. Roadrunner always wins. Well, we had a story yesterday in Gateway Pundit that the walrus, John Bolton, had contacted Democrat Representative Engel after he was fired and said he should look into the Jovanovic firing. I actually agree with the walrus on this one. We should look into the Jovanovic firing. We should look into why she turned her ambassador office into a Hillary Clinton campaign office in 2016, why Obama put her in here on his way out the door, why she was communicating, working with various other agencies of the government, including Ukrainian officials, to work against Trump and Manafort, trying to dig up information. She was probably working with Sharamella, the fake whistleblower, probably working with Chalupa, probably working with others, anti-Trump Republicans, and all the rest. So, including Bolton. Remember, John Bolton was an anti-Trump Republican, neocon. He wasn't supporting Trump. He was an anti-Trump neocon, which is why I never knew why in the world Trump would bring a neocon like Bolton onto his team. And I think Trump's mind is like, okay, the election's over, let bygones be bygones. I'm going to prove that I like to hear a lot of different, voices, a lot of different people. And yeah, business is tough and politics are tough, but, ultimately we'll put those personal things aside to do what's best for the country or the business or what have you to get a deal. But he's finding out that the walrus, like a lot of anti-Trump Republicans, do not play that way because they really don't care about the country or anything else. They're self-interested warmongers. And that's the bottom line. And now Trump's learning that. He learned the hard way. Hopefully, he's learning not to do that again. And hopefully in his second term, he will clean house. Another bad day for Burisma Joe. That's right. Not only did Burisma Joe say that he would consider having Michelle Obama as his vice president, he's now saying he would even consider nominating Barack Obama for the Supreme Court. I don't think so, because after John Durham finishes his investigation, Obama will likely be impeached. He certainly should be, but his reputation will be destroyed. His legacy will be gone. He would never get confirmed for the Supreme Court after John Durham finishes telling us the role that he played in the coup. And the Obamas, as I've said many times before, Michelle Obama hated Washington. She didn't like Washington at all. She couldn't wait to get the hell out of there. The last thing in the world Michelle Obama wants is to be a VP. And especially to Biden. She's probably laughing at that going, are you kidding me? I wouldn't be his VP. I could throw my hat in the ring and double his numbers tomorrow. I mean, she must think it's absurd. The Obamas want nothing to do with this at this point. They have unlimited earning potential, money. They can make as much money as they want to make. The last thing they want is to be caught up in party politics in Washington at a time when Obama himself, his legacy, and his policy positions, his wing of the party, are being challenged by people way, way far to the left of what he believes are positions that you can get elected on. I have no doubt that Obama's all for Marxism, but he's smart enough of a politician to know that you do that stuff incrementally. You don't go in and try to take it all at once. He's smart enough to know that. The people running the far left right now are not. They just think you're just going to go in and take it, and they're not. And that's what he's trying to explain to them, but they don't care. Obama's falling out of favor with the center-left and the far left of the Democratic Party. He's not, the factor. And most Americans can look at the 8 years of Obama, look what Trump's done in 3 years, and it doesn't take them long to figure out that Trump's done way better in 3 years than Obama did in 8 on the economy and other things. So the Obamas are not all that what they're cracked up to be, and the history of the Obamas is not going to. History will not treat them nearly as well in the long run as it did when they were actually in power. They got all the free passes in the world. But Trump's making them look very, very bad. So on top of that, then we have Burisma Joe in Iowa. He's giving a speech, and he says that he's going to appoint a very strong VP, and that they must be capable of being president. And he's suggesting that, he's pretty old, and that he may die in office. That's what he's suggesting. That's not good. I mean, he's basically saying, go ahead and vote for me, but I'm gonna go ahead and have a strong VP because you know what? I'm 77. I could die, but vote for me anyway. I mean, this guy is completely he has no political skills whatsoever. And if you go to one of his little town halls where he's talking to like 20 people in a room while Trump's drawing 150,000 or something, you can see that his mind is not all there. We've been documenting this for month after month after month. His mind is going. It is going. And you gotta remember, he wouldn't take office until, January of 2021. I mean, that's almost 12 months. It's 12 months away. A little less, just a little less than 1 year away. That's when he would take office. As much as his mind is slipping now, how bad off do you think he'll be in a year from now? 2 or 3 years from now. He gets halfway into, it'd be 3 years when he gets halfway into his first term. 3 years from now, halfway into Biden's first term, it's very likely that he will be able to hide his own Easter eggs. Not very encouraging for your potential voters to let them know that you might not be around. And who's the strong VP he's going to suggest? Klobuchar? I don't think so. Word is they're trying to cut a deal. Go ahead. That's a losing ticket right there. Biden, Klobuchar. That's a loser. Then, of course, we have Lyle blaming Trump for the coronavirus. Now, I've got a pretty nasty head cold right now. It's actually feeling pretty good for a couple days. But as you can see, it's kind of made a comeback. So, still battling this cold. Hoping to get through the video without coughing my brains out. And I got a pounding headache on top of that because every time I cough, my head pounds. So, it's not a lot of fun. A lot of sinus stuff going on here. Other than that, I'm fine. I don't have the coronavirus, by the way. Lyle saying that Trump is not keeping us safe from diseases. Trump's not keeping us safe from diseases. Well, I believe the diseases are coming out of China. I don't believe that Trump serves bat soup at any of his restaurants or hotels or casinos, golf courses. I don't think he would endorse bat soup. And I think that he's probably doing what every president would do. He takes advice from his experts at the Disease Control Center who advise him at some point. They may come to him and say, hey, we need to stop any flights coming into China. Maybe they should have already done that. But the president, waits to get that sort of data and information before he makes a call. You don't probably have enough information yet to make that call. But I do know that there's about 500,000 Chinese that come to the U.S. on visas. They're the largest number of visas into the United States are from China. 500,000 of those people walking around, probably some of them infected. 2 of them right here, we just heard on the radio here yesterday that we have 2 here in southern Butler County, where I live, in the county I live in. They had just come from China, and now they've been quarantined. Also, pretty funny, President Trump, of course, had that big signing for the USMCA. Didn't invite a single Democrat senator. I think he invited some hog farmers from Minnesota, though. But nope, not Madam Botox galore. No senators from the Demo-Commie Party. And that's a big deal. Because the Democrats wanted, that's the only thing, positive thing, that they could actually say that they did during the 2 years that they've been controlling the House of Representatives. But now they won't even have a photo op. Or a pin. Nope, no pins for the Democrats. No pics. Nothing like that. Trump totally blocked them out. Only Republican senators and some hog farmers from, I think, Minnesota there to celebrate the signing of the USMCA. Good. That's how you play ball. I like that. Trump's got balls, and he definitely understands how to play the media. He is going to win in a massive, massive landslide. Of course, we just continue to get more information about the fake whistleblower, Sharamella. Of course, I think we've heard this before, but it's just sort of reiterating the point. More information. Then, of course, Sharamella worked for Susan Rice. We've already known that at the NSC. And I think we've reported on this before, that he attended the dinner on October the 18th. Think about that, October 18th. like 3 weeks before the election, 2016. And that dinner was to honor the Italian PM, Prime Minister Renzi. And at that meeting was Clapper and James Comey, along with other deep staters. Now, keep in mind, we had that story reported by the Italian press that Durham and Barr had some very heated discussions with the Italian Prime Minister because they don't believe that he's being straight with them about what they know about Mifsud and that what they know about Spygate and their cooperation with the Obama administration. So they must have something that they know. Maybe it's from Mifsud's phones, maybe it's from documents, maybe it's from people they've interviewed in the NSC or CIA. But Barr and Durham seem to know that Renzi is not coming clean with Barr and Durham, and they're not very happy about it, which means that when they do get to the bottom of it, they're not going to give him any cover at all. They're probably going to throw a lot of shade on him when the time comes to reveal what actually happened in the role they played. Very good news today. Lieutenant General Flynn filed a motion to withdraw his guilty plea and have his case dismissed on the cause that there was egregious government conduct. Egregious government conduct. Absolutely. 100%. And that ruling should stand. The judge should rule. The evidence is there. If they will allow the evidence to come forward, this exactly will be proven. And once they do that, then they need to immediately launch into a criminal investigation. I'm sure this is encompassed within what Durham's looking at, but there should be a separate DOJ investigation specifically on the Michael Flynn frame-up and the people involved in that, which is people from Mueller's team. Remember, this is Mueller that pulled this off. Mueller and his entire team need to become under serious scrutiny. They need to be held accountable for their crimes, of which there are many. Well, the demo commies got caught sending out a form letter to U.S. senators. It's a fake astroturf impeachment support letter. So, these people are really stupid. They put together this form letter, which is, yes, we think that you should vote. I'm a voter in your state, and I think that you should vote to impeach Trump and what and this is and blah, 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 blah. Signed, and then everyone under the signature, they leave all these first names. Mark, Cindy, Buck, Bob, Karen, Ronnie. I mean, all these names. First, and they're all signed the same way. The letter is identical. I mean, they didn't even change up the letter. They literally sent out all these form letters to the senators thinking they would actually get these and believe they were actually coming from real constituents, when actually they're coming from a Democratic activist firm. This is how inept these people are. It's just laughable. It's pitiful and laughable at the same time. Wonderful day at the EU today. Nigel Farage and his friends from the UK. Farage making his final farewell speech at the EU. Of course, you know that they'll be leaving on the 31st, tomorrow. Once that occurs, they'll no longer be at the European Parliament. And then there's an 11-month transition period, which is a hard, fast 11-month transition. It can't be extended, changed, modified, or anything like that. It's 11 months. They're pretty much free of the EU now, but there's an 11-month transition process to take care of some housekeeping things. But they're essentially out of the EU as of January 31st. Congratulations to my friends across the pond in the UK. Well done. Well done. But it was kind of funny because as the UK delegation, as Farage was finishing his speech, they all started waving their little Union Jack flags. And waving their Union Jack flags, and they cut off Farage's mic. And then the lady running the show there said, yeah, you guys can go ahead and all leave. Go ahead and leave and take your flags with you. It's kind of funny. Sounds like, she's not very happy. Let's see. What else do we have here? Yes, there was a special election in Texas yesterday. The Democrats put a tremendous amount of effort into that race almost all the presidential candidates gave major endorsements to the Democrat. The skateboarder was down there for like 2 weeks, practically camped out down there. They were expecting that this was going to prove that they're going to turn Texas blue in 2020, but instead, it turned out to be a Republican landslide. Republican Gary Gates wins 58-42 in a landslide victory in the Texas special election. Yep, exactly. And it's going to get much, much worse. Think about it. It's very likely, if you look at what's going on in the Democratic primary, Bernie is getting ready to run away with this thing. His lead is getting bigger in New Hampshire, in Iowa, California, Utah. These are early voting states. If Biden doesn't win by a mile in South Carolina and pull a couple states in the South, he's done. Bernie, right now, if I had to put money on it, I'd put my money on Bernie. Now, once they get to the convention, what the Democrat National Committee chooses to do to thwart Bernie, I don't know. I'm pretty certain they'll try something. I don't think they're just going to allow Bernie to win the nomination. It will devastate the Democratic Party. They'll be in the wilderness for 10 years. They'll likely lose a huge majorities in both houses of Congress. Because those people, a lot of Democrats, will either vote Trump, stay home, but they won't vote for Bernie. Only the most hardcore left wing will. Trump will win 43, 44 states. Lots of Democrats won't even show up. And that means Republicans will win a huge majority in the Congress. And that will put the Democrats into a tailspin. It will take them a decade to get out of it, if they even figure that out. And I'm not so sure they will. Yeah, we had Joe Manchin going on the Morning Schmo and telling the Morning Schmo pretty straight up that, yeah, Hunter Biden is a relevant witness. He is a relevant witness. Of course he is. But again, like I said, Hunter Biden, if they call him, he's going to be there with a lawyer, and he's going to plead the fifth. You're not really going to get much out of him. So, I don't know. End it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow with more TowerGate, and hopefully I'll be feeling and sounding better. Thanks so much. Bye.